I gotta hit record too.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This is the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again with your host Nick Scopes and the Gregolicious. You know how we do, cause you know we keeping it gangster and silly. Unplugged like a full swung titty. About get jitty, cause you know we down to the nitty and the gritty. And we make shit sound so damn pretty. Yeah, cause this unhinged comedy. And right now you're in the mix, so get ready, cause we about to get it poppin'. And we ain't stopping.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This the Mangina Dialogue.
Hello and welcome to the Mangina Dialogues. I'm your host, Nick Scopes.
And I'm the Gregolicious.
I hate that you switch your name every time we do this now.
Yeah, I know.
You're the worst. Anyway, today our guest is the very funny Maddy Smith. What's going on, Maddy? How are you?
Hey guys, what's up? I'm interested to know why you think the theme song applies to me.
Well, not
other than I'm a woman. Is that
it? No, of course. No.
Before we recorded, they were like, "Oh, you are only one of two people that this theme song."
I think
is it because it's hip hop?
Let me translate. Yeah, let me translate. Greg's an old white man, and he probably
yes.
Fuck off.
For those who can't see.
Yeah.
Outside of Wild and Out, I don't know anything about hip hop, but I want to let you know that I appreciate that you think I'm cool. That's very nice of you.
That was the reason.
Some of those freestyle things I was watching.
Yeah. I practiced.
Good.
Otherwise, I have no rhythm.
You say that because one of the things me and Nick were talking about before you jumped on is that, like, when I watch like your Instagram and your comedy sets,
mm-hmm.
it's like two totally different people. It's like, you're on that show and it's like then you cut to you doing stand-up. It's like
mm-hmm.
two totally different people.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just a different ball game.
Yeah.
This show is so different from just doing stand-up.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like it's an incredible amount of fun.
Yeah, it's fun, stressful when we film, because if you're new, and I think this is any TV show that you get, any sort of first job in show business, you have to prove yourself. Yeah. Because you get episodes based on your performance. It's like SNL. If someone's funny, you see them more. If not, you'll see them in the background.
Yep.
So it's psychologically, until the season's over and we're done filming, I'm like, I cannot relax.
Right. So how long have you been on it?
2 seasons.
2 seasons. And how did you get it? Like, it was just auditioning, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Someone posted, some girl I follow was like, I'm casting for Wild and Out. We're looking for roast battlers and rap battlers, and I roast battle in the city. And I was like, I don't think my career goal is to be on Wild and Out, but might as well. Why would I say no? I'm not gonna apply to this. And then I got the audition, and I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
And then I got the show, and I was like, okay, well.
Here we go.
What was the audition process like? What did they make you do?
They were like, come prepared to rap battle someone on the show and play one of our games. And so I had to I prepared like a ton of different bars or rap lines for like different cast members on the show, and just like insults. And so I did stand up for the first 5 minutes for the producers and Nick Cannon. And then they were like, all right, what else you got? And I was like, I wrote some raps. It was a lot looser than what they said. But then I did rapping, and then there was a callback with a 2-team rap battle.
Wow.
And I threw some more lines in, and then they flew me down to Atlanta for like a week of what they call workshops.
Right.
Which is just like another audition process, because during that week they cut people more. So it was a big thing to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have any aspirations to write rap theme songs for podcasts?
Are you guys looking?
We might be in the market.
I did one. I don't do a ton of stuff, but I've recently I was like, I should post more raps on my Instagram. I feel like my followers would like that.
Yeah.
And then I did it. Someone asked me to do a cameo rapping for them for their first anniversary, and it turned out pretty fucking good. And I was like, I gotta get on this rap train. I gotta be like Lil Dicky, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God, so funny. Are you
Yeah.
doing a lot of cameo?
No, like once every 2 weeks, something will float in.
Right.
My rate is so low that's how much I hate myself. My cameo rate is like $15 fucking. And every time I get a new request, I'm like, oh, I gotta raise that rate, and then I forget, and then another one comes in. But definitely not my main source of income. I'm not famous. I think like the number one is like Gilbert Gottfried, and yeah, it's a really weird app.
Yeah, it really is a weird app.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So is there a new season of Wild now happening?
We filmed a season in December,
Right.
and now I'm not sure what's happening because Viacom kind of cut ties with Nick Cannon recently. But I think they're still figuring out what's going on with the show. Last I heard was we're figuring it out, and they can't film during Corona anyway.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to film a season in May, and it got postponed indefinitely because the show relies on a live audience.
Yeah.
More than any sort of talk show. So I think they're still figuring it out.
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to figure it out because I work with Viacom Nickelodeon on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I know how popular that show is for them.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's the number one show.
Yes. It's like the number one unscripted show.
Yeah.
And it's such a well-oiled machine, and that's very rare that you find that in like a comedy show. Yeah. It's like, it's so, because you film for so long and you tighten it up, and it's a really strong 22-minute show.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised if it went away completely.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's like you said, it's a machine, and it's hard for them to put those machines in the closet. You know, they're so to their.
I know, totally.
So when you're like, how much preparation for you goes into each episode of that show?
It's more so for logistic purposes. You find out what games you're playing. Each episode set up the same way. It's like 3 different games, and one of them's like hit on the woman and you get a point. Right. And then the final round is always the 2-team wild style. Yep. So there's always 4 games total. So you know what games you're playing. Just so that it's not chaotic for the filming, because they have to block it out and stuff. But you don't know exactly it's kind of like, it's half and half. You kind of know what you're going to be doing, and for blocking purposes, you know, like, oh, I'll be going up at that time. But in the wild style, you don't really know what's going to happen. That's like the most chaotic part of the show. And then you don't know if any of your jokes are going to work either. So it's like a little bit of preparation and then a lot of off-the-cuff stuff.
Are there different, like, I'm sure there's multiple takes, but if like jokes aren't hitting, do they, like, what do they do? Is it just
I've never seen them do another take.
Really?
They always just keep, Oh,
wow.
I've seen episodes that were like, and not a lot of stuff worked, and the producers are like, well, that'll be a tough one to edit. But I've never seen, it's pretty much you in this game, and then everyone goes up and hits on the woman, and you're watching, and you're like, okay, that'll make the episode. That won't. That was really funny. And then I had a pretty good feeling what was going to go into an episode and what of mine would get cut. But I never saw them recut anything. I maybe saw them like a couple times. The lady on the stage was like, stop, we have to fix a camera shot or something like that. But it's all pretty live in terms of, there's not a lot of, I've never seen anyone ask to redo a joke. Like, if it bombs, sucks for you. Because there's enough cast members where statistically, out of 16 people making a joke, 4 of them will go into an episode. Yeah. You're
going to get 22 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Without any problem.
They leave like the bombs in. Like, I've seen people like blow it, and they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's funnier for the audience at home. Really, they're like, oh, that's embarrassing for him. A funny bomb can be really funny, or just something weird. a lot of my stuff gets in because it's pretty mean, or I'm just so white that
Right.
it's like a nice contrast to everything. So a lot of stuff I did, I was like, that's gonna go in. That's gonna be in. It was just you can kind of feel it. And they've had 15 seasons, so they've probably seen it all.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So for like a girl to come in and do a different take on the hitting on a woman and stuff like that, I feel like I was at an advantage with a lot of my stuff.
Do you have a say in what what you wear?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. Well, when I went into the wardrobe the first day, they were like, okay, so the producers told us that you're actually going to be more casual than the other girls. And I was like, wow. Thanks, producers, for calling me ugly.
Were you like, why?
I was like, what the fuck?
Why is that?
What? That's so rude. And then, but personally, I only wear like t-shirts and stuff like that. So the other girls, very attractive, very like scantily clad. I respect that. But for me, my funniest persona is when I'm in very casual clothing. Stand-up too. If I wear like a dress to a stand-up show, I'm like, oh, what is going on? I feel very weird. I feel like a different person. So you kind of want to be what's most comfortable for you.
Right.
So when you go into wardrobe, you're like, oh, I like that, and they put all on your rack, and then they're like, when you run out of stuff, we'll get you more. There's like a huge room of jerseys and dresses and clothes. It's like really overwhelming, and sneakers too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the sneakers room must be amazing.
Yeah, and sunglasses and jewelry and all sorts of stuff.
You ever forget to return it? Like, oh, I gotta go. I'm in a rush.
I'm like, oh my god, I saved these Jordans. My bad. No, they're pretty good at staying on top of it. Except for the season 14 when it was the last red and black season, and then we switched over to the new color scheme. So the red and black stuff, they were like, take whatever. On the last day, they were like, take whatever. But then for the new season, they held on to more stuff.
What did you take?
Pants, shirts, hoodies, socks. I have so many Wild 'N Out clothes.
Right.
I don't wear them a lot because people at the McDonald's near me, there's kids who go there, and one time I wore a Wild 'N Out shirt and they were like, yo, she got a Wild 'N Out shirt. That's dope. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in this position. It's the morning and I just want a coffee.
I could just see you walking in New York, just have like a bedazzled Wild 'N Out hoodie.
Yeah.
Everyone just staring at you like that.
Right?
Sequins basketball jersey.
Yeah. Totally. Because without people don't recognize me. I also haven't been in public that much since I got a lot of followers. Like I got to 40K followers in like April, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll find out next year if I'm famous. Because Jacob Williams, if you guys know him, if you guys know Jacob, he used to be on Wild 'N Out, and when he's in public, people are like, oh my God, you're Jacob. I just haven't been able to experience it yet, so I'm just sitting at home trying to entertain these new followers as best I can.
Honestly, you're doing. I mean, that's how I got familiar with you, is from your Instagram, and it's.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's hysterical.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's like, oh my god, it's really hard though. Week after week, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do this? I'm like running out of ideas.
I was just rolling through it before just to get a little prepared, and I was telling Nick about one of the your America's Next Top Model video.
Oh hell yeah, that was a good one.
I was like, dude, you got to go watch this one, and he. Without even seeing it, he was just hysterical laughing at the premise.
Wow.
Dude,
the premise, I started dying. I was like,
it's so dumb. I know.
Hey, doesn't matter. It's funny.
Literally, always this girl who's like, yeah, I was raised in a 3-bedroom house and everyone around me had a 4-bedroom house. And it's like, what is... So, dude, and they're all, it's so formulaic too, with the B-roll and the... walking outside.
That's exactly right, though. I want to talk about your stand-up. I was watching your stand-up sets. I think one you did at New York Comedy Club, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was on YouTube, and I gotta say, you came on and like immediately started killing it, and you stayed killing it the whole time.
Well, thank you.
And rarely do you see that. I mean, like consistent thing,
totally.
And you were moving fast, and like
it's hard.
But I was able to follow everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was really well done. I mean,
thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard to get that on tape too. I think that's the biggest thing is like some of the best sets I've had, not taped, not recorded at all, just crushing. And then once you put that tripod up, it's like, yep, I'm bombing for no reason. And that's the hardest thing about stand-up is getting that shit on tape. I'm nervous for if I ever do like a special or something, like a Netflix or anything, if I fuck that shit up. Oh my God. Because I have the best sets when no one's watching.
That's what Greg always gets on me because he's like, I'll have like a really good set and he'd be like, did you film that? I'm like, no, I didn't want to.
No, me neither.
I love being there when Nick bombs. It's really fulfilling to me.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Those are some of my favorite shows is when I'll go with a bunch of our friends and one after the other, it's like that contagious laughter, but like one guy starts bombing and whatever, it's just a consecutive string of bombs.
Yeah.
And I would choose to go to see one of those shows as much as I would go to see.
God, it's only happened a handful of times, but still.
Yeah, only 15, 20 times.
Yeah.
He's only done stand-up 21 times. So.
Yeah. It's good to have a friend who you can bomb in front of and laugh about it. Because it's going to happen. Yeah. I realized more often than I wanted to, you know?
That's actually the story how me and Nick really started going down this comedy road together. Is he was telling me one time that he does stand up, right? Open mics and shit. And I'm like, oh man, I got to come see you. And at some point I wound up going fully expecting him to just suck, right?
Yeah.
I figured, this guy I know barely, I'm sure it'll suck, but it'll be great because then I can make fun of him for who knows how long, but I'll always have that over him. And I went, he goes up, and of the 20 comedians, he was by far the best.
That's
and
great.
I sat there so angry.
Yeah.
Like, this motherfucker just ruined a solid good. It could be the only night he was ever good, but it happened to be the night.
That's great. If the first time someone sees you, you crush, it's the best fucking, because if they see you and you bomb, they will think you're unfunny until you crush in front of them like 4 more times. It's
exactly. That's like I was the most nervous whenever there's like people from home or friends that haven't seen me.
Yes, me too.
From work. I'm like, this is like I'm freaking out.
Hate when people come see me or I hate so much because even if it's the tightest crowd ever and you kind of did well for the crowd, if it's not like a killer show and you destroy, they're gonna think you suck.
Yeah,
they lose faith in your career. I had too many people come out to see me in my first year of stand-up and they never came ever again. You have to
but you know what? Then they're going to ask you for tickets when you do record.
I know.
Special.
Just
like,
wait.
oh, can I have tickets? And you'll be like, go fuck yourself. Where were you?
Just wait. It happened when I got on Wild and Out. I had like an aunt and uncle who came to see me like within my first few months of stand-up. Right. And I didn't bomb. I was just too dirty for them.
Right.
And they're severely like Catholic, weirdos about women talking about sex and stuff. And it was just... And then since then, they never asked about stand-up. They never said congratulations. But then once I got on TV, they're sharing all over Facebook.
Yeah, right.
That's my niece. I'm like, bitch, you fucking talk shit about me just because I had one dirty joke. And it's like, the family thing is very weird, too.
Yeah. Nick's not whole act, but a lot of his act is about his dad.
Really?
So I like watching when his dad comes. I just like stare at his father while he's telling these jokes, all about his dad. And
my dad gets it though, man. He he admits, like he goes, yeah, I remember that happening.
Totally.
Nick created bits out of his dad's reactions at stand-up shows that he's done.
Yeah, that's great.
My dad's a psychopath.
I have a lot of jokes about my dad too. He's cool with them too. I feel like the older your parents get, they're just like, what fucking ever. As long as you don't ask me for money.
70 years old. My father's like 70, so he really doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like even when to bring up like when coronavirus started, I was like, Dad, you're 70 years old, like you got to be careful. And he goes, nah. Right. And I go, what do you mean, nah? And he goes, it doesn't happen to me. And I go,
right.
What doesn't happen to you? The virus? He's like, yeah, it's not gonna happen to me. And I was
my gosh.
Okay, man, cool. He's been working the whole time, no quarantine, nothing. Like he's like, I'm good.
I respect that. I mean, he's living his life.
He has to.
I allowed my life to shut down just because so I wouldn't get a cough. What am I doing?
It's a weird. Not I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's a weird time, and we really know what's happening. We also don't know what the fuck's happening.
Not in like 10 years, we're all gonna be laughing.
Yeah, coughing on each other.
Remember that year vacation we all took together, the whole world?
It's gonna be so weird.
No one left their house.
It's gonna be so fucking, like in 10 years, it's gonna be like, that was weird. And it'll all be over, and we'll all be traumatized from it for the rest of our lives.
There'll be 3 places left in the world to do comedy at.
Yep, and one of them will be Atlantic City.
God damn it. Of all places we can't get rid of. We can't get fucking rid of it.
I know, it's going to be around forever.
Although, someone, I don't know who I was talking to this week, went up to one of the casinos in Connecticut and told me it was like nothing was going on. People were sitting on top of each other and doing all kinds of shit. And like, it's an Indian reservation, so they have their own fucking rules.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So it's like nothing is happening there that's happening outside the rest of the world. They had like a big comedy show, a couple hundred people, and I'm like, really? Just crazy.
Oh, really crazy. And you know what? Comics are allowed to make that choice too. Yeah. No one's saying you're not allowed to go to the reservation and perform. And personally, I don't think I would. I feel like even when I'm inside with masks with other people, I'm like, ugh. So it'll take a while for me, but it's crazy that we have that choice.
Have you done any of the outside shows in the city?
Yeah, I've done a bunch. I've done probably like 20 to 25. And it's hard because I haven't been doing I'm my best stand-up when I'm on my like 4th Saturday night, and I'm like, could do it with my eyes closed. So it's hard for me because I'm a fast talker. I'm stumbling over my words. I do crowd work, and I can't do crowd work right now because the quarantine turned me kind of autistic, and I can't look people in the eye. It's really hard, but they're fun for what they are.
Right.
They're hard because even when you're outside, you can't hear the laughs either. Everyone feels like they're bombing.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird. We started doing them sort of halfway outdoors at one show, and like it's really on like a main street.
Yeah.
And I haven't done stand up since March. 5 months, right? And then I get on stage, and like within the first second of my first joke, there's a horn like honks behind you. And I'm like, oh fuck.
It's like really ridiculous. I was on a rooftop, and 4 minutes into my set, there's a huge church right behind, and the church bells started going off during my set. And there's distractions left and right. Babies running around parks, dogs, horns.
Homeless
it's crazy.
People.
Yeah.
Now, Maddy, what got you into stand-up? Like, what started all this?
So I'm originally from upstate. I'm from Buffalo, and graduated school, lived upstate for a year, and then I moved to New York City for a job. And I was like, I'm in the center of comedy. I might as well start, because I always wanted to do it, but I never did it. I was always like making excuses, because I was raised in a pretty like 9-to-5 household. They're like, you're going to go to school and you're going to get a salary and health insurance, and you're never going to ask us for money. So I never knew like how to be creative. So once I moved to New York, I was like, well, I don't live near my parents anymore, and the success rate might be high, because I was in Rochester, New York, and there was like one open mic a week, and I was like, I'm not starting with you losers. So when I moved to New York, I was like, okay, this is legit. There's like the Cellar was here, and you can see the clubs, and you're like, oh my God, like this is where Amy Schumer started, and you're like, okay, I'm a little bit more inspired. So I started in New York City, and I just started going to I started an open mic, and then after that, I just went every night. There was no like question. It was like, yeah, we're just gonna do this now until it turns into a
When
career.
did you know you were funny?
In my life, you mean?
Well, either in your life or when you started doing stand-up.
I was always like the funny in the friend group and the funny in class, and always the comedic relief. So I always knew like I should probably do like a comedy career. Right. I didn't know how, and I never watched stand-up. Really, I didn't even know that Tina Fey wasn't a stand-up. I thought everything was the same, Right. So when I started stand-up, it kind of just clicked, and within like a month of doing it, I was having some pretty good jokes hit, and it was pretty immediate.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was very encouraging because I quit things quickly.
Right.
So I think if it didn't click within a few months, I would have bailed.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I feel that.
Yeah, I keep trying to get Nick to quit.
Yeah.
No, if anything, let's be real here. I did it like maybe like 4 times, and then after Greg saw me, he just kept fucking bothering me about hey, you should do it again. We should start an open mic. I'm like, who? Get away from me. What do you want?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So rude.
I know. Look at his fucking thing he has around his
My
neck. What
God.
a loser.
Yeah, what is that? Dude?
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
It's very prideful.
It's actually tie-dye. You're wearing tie-dye. It's tie-dye.
Yeah, you're right. I have a shirt that looks like that. So pretty much it was pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but it's very straightforward. Everyone's like, how do I get into comedy? You literally just go on stage as much as you can in your region.
Yeah. It's like anything.
Everyone asks me how to, I don't have, everyone learns their own joke writing style, and all jokes are different.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it? When did you start?
Like 4.5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you, obviously with the TV show, I imagine that must occupy a lot of time, and clearly you can't have really another job when you were doing that, because it must take, does it shoot in New York, or it shoots in Atlanta?
Well, actually, the show shoots all at once. So it's only like 2 weeks at a time.
Oh, wow.
So we go, the first season I was in was last May in Atlanta, and I went down for 2 to 3 weeks, and then I came back up. But I was working 9 to 5 until I did the show. So I quit, did the show, came back with like a big chunk of change because you get paid per episode. So that's when I was able to just do stand-up as a career, because I had like a big enough money for like and then I started hosting at the clubs, which pays more, like 100, 125 a show. So you do like 10 of those a month. There you go.
Yeah.
And then we filmed the next season I was in December. So it's like twice a year or once a year to film the seasons. And then outside of that, I'll do like headlining weekends or digital shoots for MTV that all kind of pay the bills and take up time. So I used to have day jobs up until a little over a year ago.
Right. And what's happening now? I mean, not beside the obvious. Are you still doing like digital stuff?
Not at the moment. I think only now so I did a MTV digital in January for them, and that only recently was released, like within a month ago. And now I think MTV's now getting back there. I think only now are people like, okay, let's
start shooting.
Let's produce animated stuff, or let's do at-home stuff. I think everyone was at a stalling point for a while, and now they're like, we have to produce stuff. So until like 2 weeks ago, I was kind of just doing the unemployment and living off that pandemic money.
Yep.
And now it's New York State unemployment, but no pandemic money, doing some outdoor stuff. Yeah, I haven't really been, what's it called? Needing money, because I saved so much.
Right.
That I'm kind of just chilling right now, and then casually trying to get stuff, but also knowing the industry is kind of at a dead zone right now.
Right.
It's a weird time.
Really, I'm trying to just like focus on the online persona that I wasn't able to do before. And like for a long time, I was like, oh, I should do YouTube. And now I'm doing YouTube. So I'm trying to just like build that up, and kind of like taking like the Andrew Schultz route of like do your own thing. And it's at the end of the day, people will watch your stuff and share your Instagrams more than a show on Netflix.
Yeah.
So.
And you started a podcast. I mean, not just YouTube, but you have your own show.
Yeah, I have a podcast with Jordan Jensen. She's really cool. Flat Bottom Girls, kind of just like you guys. We got to just riff and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's incredibly funny also.
She's really cool. Love her, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching some of it. I was watching her Instagram, and like I was just in tears. Like, you guys are a good team.
Thank you. Yeah,
I don't
she's
know
great.
how like you guys are going to get through without, I mean, I don't know. So many episodes of just utter laughter.
Yeah.
That gets the point.
Right? Yeah. It's very, very unstructured, and I literally don't give a fuck. I mean, like, I feel like you have to have one, because I'm really good at promoting like my videos and my youth and my stand-up shows, but I'm like, if you do too much, you're gonna spread your audience thin.
Yep.
So I had just like this podcast that I'm relatively passive about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because people are they get overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, if you have fans, they want to consume your goods.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah.
Especially now, you know, you need to hit them from a couple different places.
Yeah.
Especially.
Definitely.
When you can't, they need to get it somewhere, and they'll certainly find it.
Yeah.
So Maddy, in your act, you were talking about how you were pretty wild in college. Was that true, or is that just for the stage?
Yes. Dude, no, wild? I blacked out so fucking much. I think I have brain damage from how much I blacked out in college, and I think it's because living in Buffalo and where I went to school, it was so cold.
Where'd you go to school?
School was in the middle of nowhere. SUNY Geneseo is near Rochester, between Rochester and Buffalo.
Yeah.
It was in like the valley, the Genesee Valley, where the wind and the snow is so strong, and it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like a college town in the middle of a farmland, and no culture.
Genesee cream ale?
Yeah, Genesee beer, and
that's enough
Odessa.
Yeah.
I know, Odessa vodka.
Oof.
And I don't know, just from the beginning of my alcohol life, I just thought, like, if you get drunk, you have to black out.
Right.
And I blacked out like every weekend of college, and I'm glad I'm not dead, really, because I had friends who got me home every time, and really think I should be dead right now.
Well, good thing you're not, and good thing you have good friends.
I know. Have you guys either fully blacked out before?
Only a handful of times for me.
Yeah, that's
got 10 minutes or something, but I would literally lose the night for 10 hours at a time. And people would recap and be like, you were doing this and this. And me, the first time it happened, I laughed. I feel like when you first hear that, you should be scared.
Right.
And never make it happen. But I was like, I'm awesome.
You know what my problem was, which I think is is an enormous problem with drinking too much, that my friends never would think I was that wasted. Like I could have been blackout drunk, but presented myself as just totally not sober, but not that drunk. So no one ever said to me, man, you should stop drinking, or maybe put that one down, or don't do that extra 3 shots of Jack Daniels.
Right.
And so I would do them and just keep piling the blackout on, and everyone would be like, I didn't even think you were that drunk, but you stole that cop car and you wound up in a river.
It happened to me too, because when I get hammered, I'm just chatty. I'm just very complimentary. Yep. And it's not until it's like 3 a.m. that my eyes are in the back of my head. But by then, everyone's drunk, so they can't tell. So I'm blackout from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. And and like I'm like you, just kind of like super chatty, and everyone's like, "You're so nice." That's how I made all my friends. It's because they're like, "You're the nicest person ever."
You're so funny.
Yes. But then sober, I'm like, "Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me."
Like, when you don't have.
I've had the opposite, where like people have accused me of being drunk when I was stone cold sober. They're like, you know what you were doing last night?
All right. Oh, there you are. You froze for a second.
Did it cut out?
Yes. Say it again.
Yeah, we lost you.
No, I was saying I've been accused of the opposite, where like people will think I'm drunk. So, like, dude, you were dancing on tables and doing this, and I was like, yeah, I had like 2 drinks. That's just who.
Wow.
That's just who I am. I remember blacking out one time, throwing up, waking up in completely new outfit, new clothes.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, after that, I'm an anxious person. I was like, I'm never doing this shit again. I was young too. I was like, I was like 14, and I remember, and I was like,
oh, that's really young.
It's a little young.
I don't know why. I think it's because I moved a lot as a kid, and I was such a people pleaser that when I got the affirmation of like, you are so fun and funny last night, I was like, I'm gonna continue that, rather than what I would now. I would say I hate myself. I'm never gonna let that happen. But back then, I was like, awesome. I was like, I was the life of the party. I'm going to let that happen again.
The next night.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, Greg, did you ever drink so much that you couldn't get it up?
Oh wow, there you go with that. Tough guy. I mean, let's say I think there might be a solution now for that.
Yes.
There's this thing called Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. What is Blue Chew, Nick?
Blue Chew has the same ingredients as Cialis and Viagra in a little chewable pill. It's super cute. You could go to a doctor. It's discreet online. You don't have to go in person. And when they mail it to you, like I've said, Greg, your neighbors will never know that it's getting mailed to your house. It's fine.
Can you take more than one at a time?
You can take 75 all at once. No.
Probably don't want to do that.
You can only take one. I'm not going to say that. No one listen to me.
Yeah, definitely don't listen to Nick. It's not part of the cues.
Can I take a Blue Chew?
Can you? That would be
can women?
Do you struggle with erectile dysfunction, Maddy?
Yeah, my dick is so soft all the time. So annoying.
It's an innie. It's one of the.
It is. Yeah, definitely. It's a grower.
It's not a shower.
It's a grower, not a shower. Yeah.
Well, Nick, how does someone go about getting these cute little blue pills?
Well, the online physician consult, by the way, is free. You don't have to do anything. And then we have a deal for you guys. You visit bluechew.com, get your first order free when you use promo code MANGINA. Just pay $5 shipping. That is BlueChew, BLUE chew.com, promo code
Mangina.
Mangina.
So, Maddy, what do you think? Like, say you're dating someone and they pull out a little packet and it's got a little blue tab in it, and they're like, yeah, I just need a little extra something. Like, what do you, like, what's going through your head when that happens? Anything?
Well, I'm probably blackout, so I'm like, do whatever you want with my body.
Take a double, stud.
At the point that I'm having sex with someone who I don't know, historically, I would not notice them taking a Blue Chew. I think I would be like, that's cool.
Historically.
Yeah, based on but if I have a boyfriend now, if he needed one, I would be surprised because he's never had a hard time. But no judgment. No judgment.
He's never had a soft time. I think what you mean.
Hey.
Right.
Hey. There it is.
Everyone's a comedian.
Sometimes.
We got a job to do, pal. Yeah. So I do have a question because I was, on a bunch of videos, you have this roast, like a Harry Potter thing. Like, what is that about?
Oh, I don't know. It was just some Comedy Central corporate show. They'll do like corporate. They'll have shows for their Comedy Central employees. Right. And this one was just a roast of Harry Potter.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I read the books, but I wouldn't call myself a Potterhead.
Right.
I just happened to be booked on that roast as Hermione, and then wrote a bunch of jokes. Adult Harry Potter fans are the equivalent of like adult Disney fans. They're just very weird.
You don't have to tell me. I like my day job is involved in like consumer products and merchandise. Yeah. One of the main things I've spent years doing is catering to the Harry Potter fans.
Dude, they're so like, grow the fuck up.
Oh my God. I went to the opening of the Harry Potter park in Universal Studios.
Yeah.
And it was a opening only for like, the people that work for Universal and the Harry Potter and the Wizarding World and business partners. So it was very small. It was for like 500 or 600 people.
Right.
The 2 days before the actual park opened to the fans, there were people camped out more than 2 days in advance.
No, get the fuck over it.
I love the Harry Potter fans. Thank you very much for paying my rent.
Right.
But like, there's something very scary about that.
It's really scary. I mean, it makes sense because it's such a huge thing. But personally, I mean, I read the books twice through as a kid. Very fun as a kid. The movies, whatever. It just didn't stick with me the way it did with other people. I don't know. There's many other books out there and fantasy worlds. Yeah. I mean, it's they're very cozy books, and I understand. Yeah. I don't know.
It's just a weird, like, I don't understand much of any of those fandoms, regardless of what it is.
When I was in college, there was a sports Quidditch team. I don't know if they had them at your colleges, where they would run around on the grass with broomsticks, and I'd just be like, What the fuck is wrong with you people?
They had that on that, the show Truth or Dare, or not Truth or Dare, whatever that show is on channel ABC, where they tell the truth, where they have 3 people go on the show and one of them tells the truth and the other are lying.
Okay, yeah.
One of the things I saw last week was a Quidditch team. Like there's not a professional, but there was a Quidditch champion. I'm like, that guy's on television.
Yeah. It's so like they run around on brooms or noodles. Yeah. They did pool noodles at my school and threw the balls at each other.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
They were all blacked out. They were all blacked out.
So weird. I know I do that when I'm blackout, but but not in. Oh, weird. It's like very like that you're never gonna experience the magic of the world. Why would you pretend with this fake way to be in it?
Get
very
up on
weird to me.
Do some stand-up Quidditch.
Right. That's the real magic.
Yeah, that's where the magic happens. All right, listen. Thank you very much. Is there anything like we need to plug for you besides your podcast and?
No, podcast and Insta are both good for me.
Cool.
I have no upcoming shows, so that anyone would be interested in. I cannot emphasize how not fulfilling the outdoor shows are. They're fun, but they are also not amazing. They're lacking.
So your Insta is so Maddy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maddy, yep.
Right. That's where they can find you, and all over YouTube.
Yep.
Funny videos.
Yep, pretty much.
So, Nick, anything you want to end on besides your pretty face?
That's definitely not what I want to end on. I just want to say thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, of course.
Especially at your level, you're on Wiling Out, bedazzled hoodies. That's really dope.
I know.
Autograph one and send it to Greg and I. That'd be cool.
I do need to get rid of them, actually.
If you really want to get rid of something, I will gladly take it.
I'll send you a hoodie. I don't wear it. I don't even wear it to bed. After that cancellation, I was like, I can't even wear this logo to bed. Don't tell Viacom I said that.
We will have a direct line in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
We will be in touch, all right?
Sounds good. See you guys.
Bye.